Hello, my name is Star Friedenberg, also known as the Medical Mindset Coach, and the purpose for today's video is simply to give you some tips and tricks on how to maximize getting blood out of your fingers for your blood intolerance and allergy test, offering a wide range of different blood tests, and the most common one is food intolerance, food allergy, as well as environment. The Essential Health Check, which checks for 19 different markers for various vitamins, your iron, vitamin D, vitamin B, different markers in your liver, your cholesterol. So that can help indicate if your liver is functioning and healthy, as well as seeing if there's any risk of heart disease. There are other tests that they offer covering menopause, thyroid. Another one that's coming soon is for female hormones. There's even intolerance tests for children. And there's also a test for inflammation as well as tests for stress. And that could also be indicating about stress, maybe over excessive use of the adrenals, as well as maybe you're in a very high incubation period of stress, and just seeing where you're at, because this can, from a medical perspective, eliminate factors out of why you might be experiencing what people are saying these days is chronic fatigue, or what they might say is long end or long-winded COVID. So we're just trying to use these as different indicators or markers to try and say, okay, no, if your adrenals are fine, your cortisol levels are fine, then there might be something else. And this starts narrowing down to figure out chronically what might be the cause of the symptoms that you're experiencing. Side note, right? But today's tests are the most commonly bought ones, and sort of the approach and wonderful thing that York offers, that if you buy a test individually, it's at a certain price point, but every test you add on, which starts to accumulate into a bundle, the tests become cheaper. So I always recommend to my clients to do the three test bundle together, which is combining your food intolerance, your essential health check, and your food allergy. So these will be coming in different color-coded boxes. So Essential Health Check will be pink. You need to note that this one needs to be done fasted, so on the morning, empty stomach. Then you'll get your food allergy, which will be purple, and then you'll get your intolerance, which is like a turquoise blue. So I recommend, in terms of the structure and how to actually start doing the test, you do the pink first, so Essential Health Check, then you do the allergy, then you do the intolerance. You're going to ask me why? Because sometimes people don't realize they don't actually bleed as successfully as they think. It's not like you see in the movies, it's like pew, pew, pew. A lot of people who have health issues or problems that are coming to these tests to find out what's the cause of issues would find that a common symptom is severe dehydration. And when you're severely dehydrated, there's coagulation in the blood. The blood is thick and it's not moving, and the consistency is very thick. So as a result of not moving, it doesn't seem to come out, and then it coagulates quickly, therefore scabs, and then you don't really get a good quantity out, which would equal failing the test. So we want to ensure that you do, or I want to ensure that you do the pink one first, because this one you have to be fasted for. So if you can just squeeze the little bit of blood out that you can, then that helps, because if you do fail, for example, the second one, at least you don't have to be fasted for the following two tests. Right. The food intolerance, which is the blue one at the end, it's not a vial that you'll have to fill up. The Essential Health Check and the food allergy are vials that you have to fill up, so a lot more blood is required. And the lancet that is used, and this is one example of a lancet, so it's not an actual needle, it's just something that you take off like this, and then you go 1, 2, 3, and you push this button down and your finger pricks. Right. So if you are afraid of needles, you won't actually see anything, and it's not like a big poke, it's just a prick. So that might help you put you at, or anyone at ease that might have a fear of seeing needles or even a bit of blood. So the prick is very minute and small, just like a pin, so we call it a pin prick, and then there's not a lot of blood. What I do recommend is, when you have to decide to prick your fingers, so you decide if you're right hand dominant or left hand dominant, try use your non-dominant hand, because you do use your dominant hand a lot, hence the word dominant. So you want to use the hand that you'll be using less, so it doesn't hurt as much, because sometimes people do bruise, sometimes the puncture is a little bit deeper than others, and it might be uncomfortable if you're constantly washing your hands, or maybe in this day and age with COVID, always using antibacterial wipe, which might be uncomfortable. So in terms of the fingers that you choose, only between these three. And of these three, I have found more successfully, instead of doing it on the side, it's good to do it on the tip. When we do the bloods, you don't actually, like if you see the lines here of the hand, I don't, for example, touch there. I only go up to the second line, but while doing it upside down, so the angle and the direction of the blood flow is much easier and much better. But even prior to doing that, the tips and tricks that I suggest. So the day before you know you're going to be doing the test, try maintain a well-hydrated diet. So maybe eating foods with more water in it, more fiber, reducing caffeine, reducing sugars, reducing oily foods so that doesn't coagulate or stagnate the blood, and of course increasing water consumption. The morning of the test, because this one you'll be having, the first test would be fasted, so of course please do not eat in the morning. But what you can do is drink 1 to 2 glasses of room temperature to warm water and just sort of down it 30 minutes prior to taking the test. Because you'll be doing this at home, 10 minutes before the test, try have a warm to hot shower just so you can stimulate circulation in the body. And then at the moment of the test, maybe a couple of minutes before, I just do 10 to 20 jumping jacks, so this kind of exercise, just again to create some stimulation. Just a reminder, just as I said before, when you do the finger prick, try do it at the tip here, and just sort of see it as a point that the blood can flow with the tip, and then you can sort of squeeze it into the vial. So these are the tips and tricks I can recommend for today. And just remember, as the blood has a lifespan, so please try and ensure that as soon as you do the tests, when in the vials, there is some serum, just to shake them a little bit, and the instructions are inside. It's first class prepaid packaging inside, but please try deliver it as soon as possible, so the lifespan doesn't expire before it actually reaches the lab. Once it reaches the lab, if you've done it through a practitioner like myself, I will receive the results and then I'll send it to you, and we will discuss potential alternatives, substitutes, or lifestyle changes that will need to be made, and even include supplement recommendations or alternative complementary therapies that might be suitable for your needs. All right, have a good day and enjoy pricking your fingers. Bye.